Imagine waking up to find that the cryptocurrency you trust most is under fire, again. This time, the accusations are explosive. Is Ripple Labs, the company behind XRP, covertly flooding the market with millions worth of tokens while insisting everything is transparent? The allegations aren't coming from conspiracy theorists on forums, but from seasoned blockchain analysts tracking every move on the public ledger. If true, this could shake not just XRP holders, but the very foundations of trust in crypto transparency. To understand what's at stake, let's rewind. Ripple Labs has long pitched XRP as the answer to slow, expensive cross-border payments. Unlike Bitcoin or Ethereum, XRP was designed for banks, built to move money across borders in seconds and for a fraction of a cent. The XRP ledger, Ripple's decentralized backbone, records every transaction, and Ripple committed to locking away 55 billion XRP, over half of all tokens, in escrow contracts. This was supposed to prevent wild market swings and reassure both investors and regulators. Yet the road has been rocky. In December 2020, the SEC accused Ripple of selling over $1 billion worth of unregistered securities. The lawsuit cast a long shadow, freezing some partnerships and hammering XRP's price. Despite this, Ripple pressed on, striking deals with banks, growing its on-demand liquidity network, and even advising central banks on digital currency pilots. By early 2025, Ripple claimed it was fully compliant and more transparent than ever. Ripple's official stance? Total denial. CTO David Schwartz fired back, calling the accusations fiction and pointing to the public record. The XRP ledger is public. Every transaction is visible. Suggesting we're secretly dumping tokens ignores both the data and our legal obligations. The company insists its escrow releases and quarterly sales, $240 million this year, all through on-demand liquidity, are above board. The XRP community is torn. Some see Ripple as outsmarting the rules, a necessary tactic in a hostile regulatory world. Others fear retail investors are being left to shoulder the risk, watching their holdings erode as prices slipped 12% since June 1st. There are calls for an independent on-chain audit, while pro-Ripple voices argue that third-party purchases are just a sign of growing adoption, not evidence of foul play. But as more tokens move in silence and exchange flows spike, the looming question grows. Is this the clever next stage of corporate crypto, or a warning sign for everyone who still believes in blockchain's promise of transparency? And with regulators circling, could the next revelation be the one that changes everything? But what happens next if the truth about Ripple's alleged shadow sales comes to light? The crypto community stands at a crossroads with several possible futures in play. If regulators uncover that Ripple has indeed sidestepped restrictions using intermediary wallets, the consequences could be seismic. Imagine a new wave of lawsuits or even a freeze on institutional XRP sales. Such action would almost certainly trigger more price volatility, not just for XRP but potentially for the broader altcoin market as confidence wavers. Remember, it was just a few years ago, in late 2020, that the SEC lawsuit against Ripple sent shockwaves through the entire crypto sphere. A repeat could put billions of dollars in value at risk overnight. On the other hand, if Ripple emerges from further investigations unscathed, perhaps even securing regulatory clarity or approval for an XRP exchange-traded fund, the upside could be enormous. Top analyst Kristen Smith at the Blockchain Association suggests, regulatory clarity is the lever that could unlock institutional demand for digital assets. In that world, institutional players, now sitting on the sidelines, might pile in. We could see XRP not only regain lost ground, but also accelerate its integration into global payment networks and even central bank digital currency pilots, further cementing its place at the table of mainstream finance. There's also another path. The industry adapts, and Ripple pivots. Ripple is already expanding beyond just XRP, developing stablecoins like RLUSD and exploring partnerships for cross-border settlements. If innovation keeps outpacing regulatory scrutiny, Ripple might sidestep this storm altogether, evolving into a multi-asset, multi-platform company. Yet the threat of losing market share to nimble competitors like Remedix or new DeFi platforms remains ever present. In crypto, today's leader can quickly become tomorrow's memory. So what can you, as an investor or observer, actually do with this information? First, never take claims of transparency solely at face value, especially in a space as fast-moving as crypto. Blockchain data is public for a reason. Tools like Santiment or Chain Argos allow anyone to track transfers, wallet activity, and exchange flows yourself. Become your own detective. Second, watch for regulatory moves like a hawk. When the SEC or other agencies make announcements, market sentiment can turn on a dime. The fate of an XRP exchange-traded fund or clarity on stablecoin rules could be the difference between a bull run and a sudden sell-off. Stay informed, not just by headlines, but by the underlying regulatory filings and court documents whenever they are released. Most importantly, diversify your knowledge and investments. The crypto world is evolving fast, with new players and technologies jockeying for position. Don't put all your eggs in one blockchain basket. The rise of decentralized finance, stablecoins, and cross-chain protocols means that opportunity and risk can appear anywhere. So, will the truth behind Ripple's shadowy XRP transactions finally come out? History shows that, in crypto, sunlight has a way of breaking through, even if it takes time. As more sophisticated analytics and watchdogs emerge, pressure grows for all major players to embrace deeper transparency. In the short term, the debate will keep raging. But in the long run, companies that combine innovation with openness are more likely to win trust and market share. And here's a secret fact. Even if Ripple's direct involvement remains unproven, this controversy has accelerated the rise of independent on-chain auditors. Some of the world's largest funds are now hiring blockchain analysts to scrutinize token flows before they invest. The next wave of crypto power brokers may be those who can truly